Hello, everyone. Let's wait 3 minutes and we'll start. As for now, please let us know that you can hear and see us well. Please put a plus in the comment.
Hello, Ksenia.
Hello.
I can hear you well. Yeah, so.
Okay, amazing. Let's wait for at least one comment. Okay, so I see that someone is typing, probably. Yes, okay, great. So my name is Ksenia Grishenko. I'm Vice President in Arton Capital. And today with me is Alisa Shutikhina, an investment immigration expert. Hello once again, Alisa.
Hello, hello. I do hope that we are going to have an excellent time together and very productive.
Yeah, so today we are going to overview different citizenship and residency programs. And let me tell you a little bit about our company if someone maybe doesn't know us well enough. So Arton Capital is a global company that provides to individuals and their families services in obtaining second citizenship or residency. And as you might see it in this slide, we are not only doing this. We are also into technologies, and we created a portal and an app called Passport Index, where you can check where your passport or the combination of your passport could bring you visa-free or visa on arrival, and etc. We are also issuing Global Citizen magazine. We are hosting Global Citizen Forum. This is a non-profit event which aims to bring global citizens and discuss different trends in economics, in immigration, refugees problems, global warmth, mental health, just everything. We are also into business.
Yes, so I think Ksenia has some connection problems. Yes, so we also issuing a Global Citizen magazine. So it started as an industry publication, industry news magazine. And over the years, we understood the industry has changed and our clients have changed. So we made it more into a lifestyle magazine. And you can see on the screen, on the cover of that magazine, we had familiar faces such as Sir Richard Branson, Robert De Niro, Oprah, Angelina Jolie, and many influential people, and many of them are the symbol of what we represent, as they are all immigrants.
Hello, I'm back. Do you hear me now?
Okay.
Okay, I apologize for this. So yes, actually, as we discussed during the past 15 years, being a pioneer of the industry, we are doing our best to increase, to raise up the standards of our industry and related spheres. And as you may see here, we have over 17 offices globally. We have our main office in Montreal, Canada. We have our operating office in Dubai, where I'm now broadcasting. Our office in Istanbul, where Alisa is now located. We have offices in China, two of them, Beijing and Shanghai, Hong Kong, Singapore, Vietnam. We also have product offices in the Caribbean, in Portugal, in Montenegro, and in Budapest. So you see, we're really operating globally. We work in all time zones. We speak different languages, and it's all for making the life of our customers better. But what really differs us from all the competitors in our industry is that we have 13 government mandates. That means that 13 governments over the globe trusted Arton to represent them in questions of citizenship and residency by investment. We are really happy for this. So, but like, what is our industry really about? Like, we were thinking, what is our real product? We provide services in obtaining something that can really change people's life. And like, the place you were born really defines you in a lot of ways. And one of the things is it gives you a certain passport. And it defines you it defines you where you can travel visa-free. It also defines where you can educate your children, where you can open a bank account or cannot open a bank account, how you're going to expand your business. And we really understand that sometimes it could bring you to some certain limits. And if there is a legal way to overcome that limits, that borders, then what we are helping to do, to gain with. This is our real value and product, like the freedom to choose. And we really want to interact with our listeners. So could you please, who wants, text and comment, what is your current nationality? Where are you from?
Yeah, and also I would like to, like, while you are texting, to give a kind of a disclaimer over here. What we're discussing today doesn't rely to any patriotic feelings. It doesn't reject our roots or our unconditional love to our motherlands. We only discuss these things in relation to current opened or closed opportunities. Because, you know, like, people with strong passports can't really understand sometimes what we're talking about. But those with weak passports, they can very well understand our idea. That's the value of quality of life, value of freedom to choose, value of independence, and responsibility that could actually be obtained absolutely legally based on current legislation.
Exactly. Like if there are some ways to avoid some limits, when you can kind of upgrade yourself, why not to use it, right? Thank you for your answers. I can see Istanbul, nationality Turkish. Very nice to meet you. We love Istanbul, honestly. And really, I would like India. Hello from India. Hello. We would like to ask you one more question, and you can decide whether you want to answer it or not, but let's think about it. If you had a chance to choose any nationality to be born with, which one would you choose? Like, it's something like, Alisa, let's discuss. What would you choose?
Okay, if you ask me this question, the first country that came into my mind is like something like Switzerland or Austria, because I like this Northern European climate. Also, I would like to consider maybe either Spain or Portugal. But with Swiss passports, I can travel to South Europe, so it will be like, it will work there anyway. But it definitely will be something in Europe. And what about you?
Well, I currently live in Dubai, and I recently studied like how locals are being supported by their government. So let's say when young people got married, they've been given $20,000 for the young family. They also have, they're supporting them with education and medical care. This is something so great to have by default. So I'm thinking about some social securities. I think it's really helpful. And well, of course, it could not be, there could not be like a one correct answer. And what is really important here is to try to analyze what first came into your mind, what criteria you start to think about. And this is like, these are your priorities. These what you would like, you would like to have. And we were trying to summarize some key aspects that people normally use to plan their future. And these are the following. So on the first place, this is definitely safety. This is a basic need of safety. And this is a very like big definition. Second thing is a business environment, like how we really gain money. Third is investment and like saving opportunities. So how you're gonna save and increase your assets, your money again, right? Then it's global mobility. Like it's something about like freedom and being able to be whenever you want, to live that life of global citizenship and not to, you know, not to limit yourself with, again, business or family or even entertainment opportunities, right? One more important thing is children, education, and like the future of our next generation. And the sixth thing, which is also very important to consider, is retirement planning, like where and how we are going to enjoy, hopefully, our retirement.
Yes,
So,
Ksenia, I also remember the flag theory that was popular some time ago, like when you need to live at one place, educate your children at another one, invest at the third place, pay taxes on the fourth, or retire on the fifth.
Yeah, exactly. It's something about that. Like now life is like a menu, the world, and you can choose what is on the menu, what you can consider to use, choose the best for yourself, what would suit your goals, and just use it. Like, why not?
Exactly. The world is yours, so be a global citizen. So, as you see, so you're looking mainly for European, Schengen residency and citizenship. Yeah, thank you for your answers. Ksenia, maybe we would like to give like an agenda, what we are going to cover in this presentation. So that
Yes, exactly. So first of all, we're going to discuss definitions, like what is the difference between citizenship and residency, because like to be sure we are all on the same definition stage. Second, we're going to overview non-investment routes, like in general, how this immigration immigration sphere is working in general, so you understand if you can be suitable for some of the non-immigration routes. Then we will overview all programs which are now available, citizenship and residency, and we will compare them separately, citizenship programs and separately residency programs. After all, we'll also discuss EB5 green card options for the United States of America, and we will talk about residency visa, different options in United Arab Emirates. We'll talk about business setup, a little bit about Golden Visa. If you have any questions, you are more than welcome to text in the comment. You can add up something, you can ask us to repeat or maybe explain a bit better if we did something short. So we will try to be short, but not to miss anything, because we believe that we cannot just speak about, okay, Portugal residency and that's it. We need to ensure that our clients understand the picture in the whole. And then when you really understand how it works and what factors and aspects to use when you're comparing, then it's very, very easy for you to make a right choice. So let's move forward. Let's talk about citizenship and residency. What is the difference?
So let's start with like very basic definition. So citizenship grants rights, privileges, and protections to individuals within a country and state. The main thing about citizenship is that it is permanent, it's lifelong status that can be rejected, and it is completely independent status, not connected anyhow to your current nationality. Residency, on the other hand, is a permit that allows an individual to reside in a specific country with conditions that must be adhered to. So like to sum up, the main difference is that citizenship is permanent and completely independent. Residency is somehow connected to a current nationality and must be like proved to obtain it or to extend it.
Super. So let's now talk about citizenship. Like, what are the ways of obtaining citizenship in general without investments?
Yeah, so I think the most common one is citizenship by blood, right?
Yes, exactly. It's like all of us probably got their first citizenship when we are obtaining same citizenship which our parents had, or one of our parents. Or also this definition by blood, it's also called jus sanguineus, something like that in Latin. It's also on this rule based this repatriation, when maybe not one of your parents, but one of your grandparents used to have current one particular nationality, and you now have the right to again obtain this. I think maybe some people know about these programs, like it's popular in Israel or some other countries. What else?
Another one is by ground. So it's like commonly referred to as birthright citizenship, the right to acquire passport by being born within the territory of the state. So it's very popular, for example, in the US, when people especially go there and give birth to their children so that they will become like US citizens.
Yeah, but trick is here that you can plan it for your children, and then to make a family reunion, you need to study the particular country's law, because let's say in the US it's possible only when your child is 18 or 21. Okay, let's quickly discuss other routes.
Yeah, it's also possible to get another citizenship by marrying someone with a stronger passport, or like if you contribute to a culture, science, or sports of another country, like so significantly that this government considers you to be eligible to get their citizenship. Also, the naturalization route and the investment rules, what we are going to discuss later on. Yes.
I believe naturalization and investments are those routes that could really be suitable to most of the people. Meaning, if you happened not to be born in somewhere you would like to, or you happened not to have the particular blood to obtain another citizenship, then, but anyway, you can always go and relocate and go use the naturalization route, or if you have money, you can always use the investment route. So let's talk about naturalization first, because it's something I think quite natural for many people, especially who are thinking about relocation.
Yeah, I suppose like practically everyone has either a relative or a friend who moved to another country, and usually the grounds for their ability to reside in this country is either education, job, business, or financial independence. So that prove that they're financially stable to afford living in this country. However, if the person continues to live in the country, that actually means that he needs to really live like more than 183 days a year. So it means that he is becoming a tax resident in the country. And if we consider European countries, being a tax resident there is not that everyone wants to do. Besides, he needs to also prove that the grounds for residence that were given at the beginning, like education, job, or business, are still with him. So it's all the time like a process that can't be like stopped and then started again. So in order to obtain a stronger status like permanent residency or citizenship in the end, you need to spend in the country like, let's say, 5, 7, or 10 years, depending on the direction you've chosen. And at the end, when you are ready to apply for your citizenship, you need to also pass like language exam, history exam. So like it's a very, very like long process.
Yeah, it's a long-term planning, but of course many people are using that. So I believe everyone who is dreaming of one particular country, I don't know, Spain or something, they may really go be employed there or set up a business. Like, of course, it has some difference in between different countries, but it is really possible. It's not required you some huge investments or buying something, but you really need to understand that you are ready to change your life so much today. And that is what doesn't suit most of our clients, because you may want to have kind of plan B and maybe use it, but you are not ready to relocate, to spend half a year, to pay taxes. You have lots of relative things and business to do in your current place. And again, even if you decided to relocate, to move, then some things might happen in the middle of that process. Like, remember, Alicia, your client who moved to Portugal with a D7 visa, which is a great program, but what happened to him? Remind me.
Yeah, exactly. So he was such a fan of Portugal. He said, like, yeah, I'm going to start this naturalization process over there. D7 is a like great option for me. But then after 2 years passed, he got extremely good offer from United Arab Emirates. So he decided to go there. And that means that all the time that he spent in the country, like, was in vain, because in order to start the process for naturalization, he needs to do it once again. And now the result is that he is doing Portugal Golden Visa because he doesn't want to live in the country and to be so attached to it for a huge amount of time.
Yeah. So again, it's something about freedom to choose. And if you can invest, if you can, it's really, you can choose some wise investments, and especially in Portugal, there are lots of good options. So, of course, I think he regret that he wasted somehow, I guess, these 2 years. Let's move forward. So that's how we are coming to the investment basement for immigration. As we discussed, there are programs in the world, like where you can gain your permanent residency for investment, or temporary residency for investment, or even citizenship by investment. But also some people have that idea on their mind that if they have lots of money, they can actually buy any citizenship in the world, like any passport. But we are very sorry to upset them, but this is not possible. All the routes actually which are really possible, we discussed before. So there is nothing else in the world. And that's why it's actually not that messy to find out what will suit for you. And now we are moving to programs matrix. This is our program matrix. I can realize that it might be hard for you to read something right now, but I promise we'll send the presentation to everyone who registered to our meeting today. But this is something to show you that the choice is not that big. There's less than 15 programs in general. If we are talking about investment routes, citizenship or residency by investment. And also, we would like to tell you that you might see some ads in internet about obtain Romanian or Slovakian or some European citizenship for 10,000 euro, like super fast and so on. You should understand that's not an investment route or something. Mostly it's a scam schemes because they are using some, I don't know, some fraud birth certificates or something like that. And even if it works, or I don't know, you should realize that this is a real scam, and that could cause you much more bigger problems than just your citizenship will be rejected. If you try something like that and they find out, like, you know, how European program can cost you 10,000 euro when a neighbor Malta is selling it for 1 million euro of donation. Like, they're not so stupid, right? So, and if it finds out, you can be blacklisted in all Schengen countries forever, and your kids can be affected. And I had a client who was trying to do something like that in Ireland, and we could not take him to the Caribbean process because it stays in your history. So we are here to tell you to be realistic. Of course, to check everything you hear, to ask for the laws and everything, but there's no miracle in the world. It's not possible when something that normally costs approximately this is being suggested by some peanuts, right? So let's return back to our program matrix. You can see here on the right side citizenship programs. 6 of them we are going to discuss today, 5 of which are Caribbean. So we're going to compare them separately, but this is something about all that we can suggest you for now if you want to obtain citizenship. Then on the left side, there are residency programs in European Union, something that you can use for being in Europe if you are not really interested in having a passport, but your main priority is European Union, whole year-round access, maybe business, bank account, something like that, and maybe probably naturalization further, then we can work with the left side of the table. If your main priority, travel right now, not only within European countries, but also UK, China, Hong Kong, and etc. If your goal is Plan B passport, like just in case, to use it for something, to have a parallel story with your current passport, then probably we were going to work with the passport programs. And 2 separate programs which are really kind of unique is an EB5 program for you to obtain green card in the US for those who have an American dream, who are planning to educate their children in the United States. Then we can suggest you this very simple route. And for those who really want to make some business setup in a neutral territory, who is working for the Middle East market, who wants business setup, use it for maybe as a part of the holding structure, or real estate investment and obtaining golden visa for the family. It's Hungary Residency, like we love Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and not only this. So we're going to speak very shortly about this as well.
Yeah, Ksenia, also maybe we should discuss how we usually work with the clients, because I think it will also help the investors to understand the clear picture, like how the process is organized.
Okay, tell us.
Yeah, so the main question that we ask, like the first question that we ask all of the people who becoming our clients is, what are your goals? What are your goals and purposes? What are you looking for? Because this is the main question, and your answer really helps us to advise you in a better way. Like as we already discussed, that we want you to have a clear picture of everything available in the market. We're not pushing for one program or another, and there is no like a solution, number one solution for everyone. So first we ask, what are your goals, like citizenship or residency? If your like central interest is in Europe, then we talk about European residencies and compare each of them. Or if you want to have a second passport, yeah, we will definitely go to either Caribbean countries or like Turkey, depending like on which country you came from.
Okay, amazing. So let's now move to citizenship programs. As you may see, and as we already announced, we will talk today about 5 Caribbean citizenship programs and Turkey. Citizenship, this is, as we discussed in the beginning, is a permanent lifelong status. So you immediately have your second passport that can open up like a parallel story of yourself, and you can use your second citizenship for, let's say, opening bank accounts, obtaining assets that can bring you some extra protection, and of course, traveling opportunities. And you can even obtain your residency using not your current passport, but your second one. So you can play with it wherever you want. And let's first talk about Caribbean programs, because they are the pioneers of our industry, Caribbean, and probably the most popular product for the past 20 years. Alisa, tell us, please, why our clients are so much in love with the Caribbean. And let's ask our listeners, did you know about Caribbean citizenship programs? Did you study this? What do you think about it?
Yeah, thank you. Like while you're typing, I'm gonna tell in a nutshell about this Caribbean countries citizenship. As Ksenia already mentioned, it's really like the best-selling product on the market. And there are 5 countries of the Caribbean that we can consider. It's Grenada, Dominica, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Lucia. All this started from St. Kitts and Nevis, so they established their like citizenship by investment program in 1984. Why these countries? How like they appear in the market? They actually are former colonies of the United Kingdom, so that's why they have this huge amount of countries where they're visa free. So yeah, these countries are all visa free to the European Union. All countries except for Dominica are visa free to the United Kingdom. Grenada and Dominica also visa free to China. So like in total, there are more than 130 countries visa free for each of these countries named here. All the process of getting this passport is completely remote. You don't need to travel to reside in these countries. No language exams is required. No taxes, but you're not going to be eligible to any taxes in these countries. So yeah, it's really beneficial, and it solves a lot of goals, and it really like diversify you, and it's a great plan B option. So yeah, let's go to the ways how we can obtain it actually.
Yeah, actually, when we will also discuss how to choose in between of 5, but let's first discuss something that is in common of these countries. And the citizenship routes are really very similar. All 5 countries have 2 ways of obtaining citizenship. This is revocable and irrevocable. So let's show how we normally advise to our clients what to choose, like what's the difference.
Yeah, so there are 2 ways to get the citizenship. It's either donation, so it's like non-refundable contribution to a government fund of this country. In simple words, it's like buying a passport. This option is cheaper, but yeah, completely non-refundable. Another option is to invest in the approved real estate projects in the countries. Important point here is that it really must be like an approved project. And usually it's like a share in a hotel business, because these countries are interested in improving and developing their tourism sector. So like, yeah, I think Ksenia and I always face the question like, can I buy something for myself in the Caribbean? Yeah, so
because like people got used to the programs like in Greece or in it's Portugal, you may go for the open market and that will be qualified investment for the program. But here you need to go for the approved projects. And actually, Caribbean programs are very transparent because the list of all approved projects are in open access on the governmental websites, same as the amount of governmental fees and all the costs. So when someone is asking us about why so expensive or something like that, actually, you have nothing to play with. It's super standardized. And also one more thing for people to decide and to choose in between the options is the cost. Because for your type of passports or for your due diligence process, there is no difference, no dependence, no connections, which option you're using, donation or real estate or governmental bonds investments. But also in both of the ways, there would be extra costs like processing fees, governmental fees, due diligence, and etc., which can increase the amount you need to spend quite sufficient. And it also very much depends on how many family members you plan to include, either it's a single application or a family application. And one of the way to choose in between these options is to check the individual calculation for this particular family composition. And sometimes the difference between donation and real estate could be more than $150,000. And then people need to decide whether they really want to go for real estate or donation is okay. But sometimes the difference could be around $70,000. And then within this difference, you are getting an asset, you are having some additional benefits from the developer, let's say. They can grant you with vacant holidays, some spending vacation on the one or another hotel. So that can work doing that. So this is up to client profile decision. And of course, money-wise, we're helping to decide.
Yeah, I would also like to add that Caribbeans really offer a good option for big family compositions, and in Caribbeans it's possible to add in one application like your spouse, your children who are under 18 and over 18 if they're financially dependent from you, parents from both sides, and also even like your siblings who don't have families of their own and who are unmarried. But it also depends on each particular country, like the age of the person to add. So that's why we all the time ask for the family composition that we have and the age of the dependents. Like based on that, we are doing the calculation and trying to find the most cost-effective option for you.
Yeah, I now open the comparison table between 5 Caribbean countries. And as you mentioned, so again, when we come to a question from the client, how to choose, what should I choose? Maybe someone coming, I want some kids in Nevis, never knew about the alternative options. So we always ask, what we are discussing, we are telling about 2 options, and we try to first determine what is the client for donation of real estate, because I face completely different positions. Someone said, what? I don't want to donate. It's not a charity. I want my money to be on the asset. I want investment. Then, okay, it's a position. Another story I heard, no, I don't want to wait. I don't want to resell. I want to gift and forget. Give me my passport, the difference of the money, I will invest somewhere else. I work with, I don't know, bonds, whatever. So it's also a position. So it's actually up to client. And when we understand what option he wants to choose, then we compare calculation. Then we compare, then we find out what is the family composition, and we try to realize which countries are suitable, what will be the cost of them, and so on. Because let's say St. Lucia is the best option for the single applicant, when Antigua and Barbuda would be the most profitable for the family of 6. So it's always different. Then we're discussing what is the central of travel interests. Let's say South Africa. Only Antigua and Barbuda can give you visa-free to South Africa. Like we understand, Schengen, UK is the same for all of them. But let's then compare some other countries. Like China is only visa-free for Dominica and Grenada, and etc. So these are some hints that help us to guide the client between these 5 countries. Again, the holding period of investment can be different, right, Alice? What else? Maybe I forgot something.
Yeah, actually, I think you mentioned pretty many things, and the main idea is that we really need to understand your situation in order to advise you in a better way. And sum it all up about the Caribbeans is that this is a good, very good, like traveling passport. It also like diversifies your risks and solves some problems if you are like sanctioned anywhere. And like this is a completely different passport that has no connection to your current nationality, because we had so many stories. Like for example, when like a woman, one client of ours, she was trying to, like, her dream was to make her child to study in Great Britain, and then due to some political instability, they couldn't get visas there. So it was very sad for them. So definitely they like started doing this process with the Caribbeans. Or Ksenia, remember that client who was always struggling with business trips?
Yes, this is a real story. When you, for example, find out that next week is some important conference in Switzerland or something, and you may have your potential partner there. And imagine if you don't have a visa, you have no chance to go. You need either to try to arrange it very urgently, overpaying for that, or otherwise you are losing your business opportunities. And for businessmen who are get used to take responsibility on their life and to plan their future, to make something that increase their freedom is really true value. And you never know, like some years ago, let's say Russians could easily make a 5-year Schengen, all visas, no problem. Now we all know what happened. Great problem to get 2 weeks just dates of the trip visas, and you should spend like a couple of months in order to obtain this. That is real limits that we really faced. So we really recommend not to wait for some, for something bad to happen. And all my clients who previously did second passport or some maybe residency, or I have, by the way, many clients who did both passport plus residency plus something else, that really I never heard anyone like regret about that. So and especially when we're talking about passports and Caribbean, this is such a great gift that you can give to your children, to your new generations, because newborn children are inheriting these passports. And Caribbean are comparable, but it's quite affordable. So it can be compared to the price, to the cost of a luxury car. But you're buying a second citizenship for the whole of your family, for newborn children, for new generations, and they would start their life in completely new world without those limits, which you help them to overcome.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Ksenia. I completely agree with everything you said. And also to add one more point is that these passports doesn't like require any they doesn't oblige you to any liabilities, but just give you benefits. So after that, if after the presentation, if you're interested in Caribbeans, we'll be super glad to guide you more thoroughly on that.
I can see a question, by the way. Is created default swap available for Caribbean bonds? I'm not sure if I got the question correctly, but if you're asking if you can use some loans or something to finance the program, then the answer is unfortunately, like if you can arrange it yourself, like using a sponsor or something, then it can work. Because when we apply for one of the Caribbean programs, we are going through due diligence process. And one of the most important part of the due diligence is to proving source of fund is clean. Insurance against default of bonds. It's governmental bonds. So only if it's default of the whole country, then it's a risk. But generally, they are not selling them so much, I would tell you honestly, to make a default of the whole country. So it's pretty secured, governmental bonds. Like it's one of the most secured tools in the world.
Yeah, and I would also like to mention that there is no dividends on these bonds, so it's like
unfortunately no dividends, but it's something quite liquid. You have you have this 5 years period to hold, but then they are buying it back. Of course, like inflation rate is not here. So if you would like, we can talk a bit more about, let's say, compare governmental bonds to real estate options. There are pros and cons. And what we try is we're not like pushing like this is the best, everything is very good. No, unfortunately, there are lots of minuses. Like, let's say interest is not paid, right? But they attract by its liquidity. That is something that you need to choose and prioritize. Then this option would be best for you. Okay, by the way, if you have other questions, please text them and we will be moving forward a little bit. Very short about Turkey program. I know some people are here from Turkey themselves, and our Turkey colleagues, they are really surprised, like, oh my God, who is buying that? But, and even though Turkey citizenship is much more expensive than the Caribbean one, but it has its benefits and it has its clients. The most important thing is it's a real passport, quite fast process, like less than 6 months, you are having the passport for the whole of your family. And the whole amount you're investing is totally in real estate, in the open market. So compared to Caribbean, you should not be go for some approved projects, to some limited amount of projects. You can invest in real open market. You can choose Istanbul, you can choose some resort areas, Bodrum, Antalya, and etc. You can choose commercial property, you can choose secondary or under construction. And in Turkey, like Alicia is in Istanbul herself and she works a lot with real estate market there, you can really implement different investment strategy. It could be a capital appreciation goal, guaranteed return, or something like that. And the holding period for this investment is only 3 years. So after this, you are selling your asset and you are completely done. If you're investing smart, there most probably whole of your money will be returned and even increased. So in the end, the cost of Turkish citizenship is really not that much. What you need is to invest smart. And Turkey, actually the process in Turkey and the due diligence process in Turkey is quite easy. And for those nationalities, let's say Iranians or Russians are currently banned due to political situation in many other countries. And Turkey program is a way for them. They can then use Turkish passport and obtain Greece residency or something like that. That could be really plan B for them, and they can really travel to Turkey. They can really live there. It's a beautiful country. And so this is something that could be a really great solution. Let's move forward to the residential programs. And I believe this is something which our attenders were waiting the most. If you can share what countries you were already considering, we'll appreciate. And now, Alisa, let's discuss why these programs attract people that much. What's so special on them?
Yeah, so let's consider the common benefits of any European residency program. So first thing is that you have all year round access to European Union. All 28 countries of Schengen area are visa free for you. So you can spend the whole year round in the country where you are a resident. And also you can spend 90 days in half a year in any of the countries. But as you know, like in European Union, there are no borders, so no one actually checks where are you. So yeah, if you central of interest is in Europe, if you want to have a residential address over there, if you want to set up a company, if you want to, if you want your children to study in EU, if you want to work with financial institutions, so European residency is definitely a choice for you. And also what I would like to say is that all European Union residency by investment programs, they do not require you to relocate to the country. They do not require this either right now or like anytime in the future. So if you want to have like this just plan B option in Europe, this is exactly what you're looking for. And European residency by investment does not require you to become a tax resident to the country, so you're not liable to pay taxes over there just by getting this residency.
Exactly. Unless you plan to naturalize, then it might be a bit different. But if you just have your residency and you're not try to pass that way to the passport, then of course this is something. This is the case when you gain all the benefits and don't have any obligations. So let's now talk a little bit how, again, people can choose between European residency options, how we usually build our consultation when we are talking about this.
Yes, so here you can see a table with the main and most popular programs in European Union right now. So you can see Greece Golden Visa, Hungary Residency Program, Portugal Golden Visa, Cyprus Residency, and Malta Permanent Residency Program. Most of them we are going to discuss later in more details, but just giving you an overview, these countries differ in terms of the minimum amount of investment, so we can decide on the budget that you have. Also, the processing time is different. So you can see in this table that Hungary is the fastest program, while Portugal is the longest one. But at the same time, Portugal is the only program that really has a path to European Union citizenship without a necessity to relocate to the country. So it's super beneficial and very attractive because of that.
Yeah, that probably is the reason why it's so long, because the demand is super high.
Yes, exactly. Also, all these countries have visa-free access to the European Union, except for Cyprus. Yeah, I'm talking about this Greece, Hungary, Portugal, and Malta. And yeah, the path to citizenship also differs. And I believe we are going to mention this later on when we talk about each of them in detail.
Yeah, so let's start one by one. We will try to be short, but we will talk about country benefits, and we will try not to say some general things like it's a member of European Union, Eurozone, and etc., but about something that differs from the others. And we'll talk about program differences. And if you have any comments or questions, it's the time to ask them. And now we are talking about the residency. So let's start from our most popular program, Portugal. Alisa, why it's so popular?
Yeah, first thing that I already mentioned is that it is really the only country that doesn't require investors to relocate to the country to get, to be eligible for getting European Union passports. And another thing is that, unfortunately, Portugal Golden Visa program by real estate investments is going to an end. And I would say, realistically, we have around 3 weeks to submit the file to immigration units and to be on time, because Portugal government is really against these real estate investments. They say that people in Portugal can't afford buying real estate themselves, so that's why they want to close this option. But there is still time, and in case you are going to be decisive one, you can be on time for the most attractive European Union residency by investment program.
Also, of course, Portugal is very popular. It won lots of rewards, top 3 safest countries in the world, top 1 country for the retirement due to cost of living, social securities, and etc. It's super crypto friendly. Technologies, it's the capital of Web Summit, Lisbon, and so
yeah, exactly. And it's the first best country for retirement in the world. And nowadays it's very, very popular among Americans. Even though they have very strong passport, it's super popular to get Portugal Golden Visa to retire in the country. So they have this long run plan.
Yeah, and British, I believe. I think there is a British triangle village in the south of the country. It's more English language speaking there than the Portuguese. I heard it myself.
Well, Yeah, so Portugal is extremely amazing country, and let's go to program advantages. So yeah, what we already mentioned is like, yeah, visa-free travel, ability like to live and work and in Portugal during the whole year period. Yes, the main advantage is that after 5 years of holding your residency, you can be eligible to apply for European Union passport. I must say that it's not guaranteed. It's like not that after 5 years you like have a present with you EU passport. No, but it's way simpler than in other European countries. The main requirement is that you need to spend only and at least like 7 days a year, each year of holding your residency. And at the end of 5 years period of holding your Golden Visa, you need to pass like a basic level language exam and a level A2 Portuguese one. And yeah, you can apply for citizenship, and that's a very realistic route, and so many people actually got EU passports following this path.
Okay, let's now talk about the requirements, because I also know that some people are confusing, like 280, 350, 500. What is the rule for Portugal investments?
Yeah, the main thing that I need to say here is that Portugal does not have like open market investment and that you can choose anything in the country. There are some areas that are restricted to buy residential property, for example. So like all the big cities like Porto or Lisbon are not eligible to apply for Golden Visa by buying like even, I don't know, like 6 million mansion in Lisbon for yourself. You can't apply for Portugal Golden Visa, unfortunately. So that's why I would like mostly talk about two options that are most affordable and most attractive and popular among the investors. So the first one is minimum amount of investment, 280,000 euros, if the property is located in low density areas and is under reconstruction. So it's like some rural areas, but yeah, it's for a minimum amount of investment. And another option is to invest a minimum of 350,000 euros in commercial real estate, and it's possible to do so both like in Lisbon and in Porto. And like after that, we are going to show some projects that are still on the market, even though they're being sold out super quickly due to the end of the program, but they're super beneficial and attractive, and like you can have a guaranteed annual return from it. You can have like this buyback option, and yeah, really earn money from it. So for example, yeah, this you can see here, property in Lisbon. It is located in its commercial one, so the minimum investment amount is 350,000 euros. I would say that there are around 15 slots left. So you are not becoming like an owner of exact like apartment or something. So you're becoming a shareholder. It's a co-ownership of a co-working space in the center of Lisbon. It's a super prime location, like all the main restaurants, boutiques, everything is located here. So you can check it. Also, I can share with you after that, if you're interested, the whole presentation where like the whole like the research on the market was being conducted, and you can check what is the demand in this area for co-working places, how much the desk costs. So like you can see everything. Like this research was really thorough, and you can consider what benefits you can have after investing in this exact property. And also, it's maybe quite like in small letters over here, but I will be glad to share afterwards that you have like two options of return on investment, and you can like even have buyback option at the end of the period, because after you are like convert your Golden Visa into permanent residency or citizenship, you can exit your asset, and so the developer will buy back your property from you. Yeah.
Let's discuss also 280 option, which can let client to enter the program with the minimum costs.
Yeah, exactly. For example, you can see here, it's like a 5-star hotel. This is the property that is in low density and reconstruction areas, and here you can also find some benefits, like for example IMT is like the title deed transfer taxes paid by the developer. Also we can share the whole presentation regarding how beneficial it is to invest in this exactly property. But yes, this is super attractive option, and as Ksenia correctly mentioned, that it's like for a minimum amount of investment, so 200.
I want to add here that low density area is not like in the middle of nowhere, like in the middle of the field. It's Algarve. It's the south region of Portugal. It's the warmest ocean place, because many people are complaining that in the north of the Portugal the water is cold for swimming, only for surfers, but it's also not quite true. But anyway, Algarve is the best resort area of Portugal. So this is really popular, and of course the most popular airport is Lisbon or Porto, but in Algarve they also have an international airport, Faro, that has some international flights and so on. So this is quite an attractive area as well, and many people are choosing to live in south of Portugal because of the climate, because of the resorts and etc., not on a busy city. So low density is just meaning the population, the amount of population, and this is still very attractive and very cozy location. Let's move forward, and let's now talk about Greece. Greece also faced some changes in the immigration legislation, and by the way, those changes and amendments, which are normally come to higher budgets or less amount of options, it's kind of a trend, because you see, life is becoming more stricter, due diligence process is more complicated, minimum budgets are getting higher, and etc. So for those clients who are really thinking now, is that the time, like further it will be only more expensive and less options for you left. So let's talk about Greece. Let's talk, why is it popular, what are the benefits, and what we can choose in Greece.
Yeah, so Greece also has Golden Visa program, and I would say that the main advantage here is that in Greece it's possible to invest in an open market, and the minimum amount of investment is slightly less than in Portugal, so it's like 250,000 euros. Like before August of this year, it used to be like the whole area of Greece was okay to invest 250,000 euros, but starting from 1st of August, they raised this minimum threshold amount up to 500,000 euros. In certain areas, the most like popular ones, so it's like central Athens, Santorini, Mykonos, and something else, but it's still possible to go for a minimum investment amount. What is better, for example, in Greece, if we compare it to Portugal, that the process and the procedure is quite straightforward and it's way faster. It will take around like from 4 to 6 months, I would say, to get your Greece Golden Visa. Another thing is that even your first Greece Golden Visa is given to you for 5 years straight away, so you don't need to extend it from like in a year or in 2 years. You will have it for 5 years time. As you invest in an open market, and if you invest wisely and in a good property, you can also generate a return on your investment, and Greece doesn't require you to live in the country any amount of time, actually, if you just want to extend your Golden Visa. But in case you would like to convert it into a stronger status, it's also possible in Greece, but it is possible only after, let's say, 7 years, after like really living in Greece, like becoming a tax resident over there, and also after passing Greek language and Greek history exams. So like you need to be really involved in life of Greece in order to get the citizenship.
Let's consider some of the investment options. I think this we discussed. Maybe we talk about the project itself just to show some examples.
Yeah, I would like just to mention in a nutshell the key benefits of Arton Capital projects, that mainly we offer the projects that have guaranteed annual rental return. Also, we only like try to work with newly built properties that meet all the safety and earthquake resistance requirements, because Greece is also earthquake resistance, and yeah, it is quite it is quite dangerous to choose something second hand sometimes, and not of a good quality of construction. And also all the developers that we work with have passed thorough due diligence from our side. But I would also like to add, but in case you're interested in choosing something for yourself, we can definitely work with that and help you with that.
Okay, so these are the examples which you just described, which suggest you some guaranteed yield, guaranteed interest were already expected by our analytics in the company, and we can really be sure on them, what we recommend to our clients. So
yeah, exactly.
this is an area which is still eligible for
right.
tourism,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Even though it's Athens, it's this area was not influenced by the increase of the threshold amount. So that's why it's really beneficial, because in the near future, it's very predictable that they're going to increase the minimum investment amount over here as well. And yeah, it's very close to city center, 10 minutes, I would say, 15. So yeah, it's one of the most popular options right now.
What else we have here to show the clients?
Yeah, it's also an option. This option, unfortunately, is in an area that is more expensive, but still the quality of construction is super nice, and yeah, we can also consider. And in case you're interested in Greece, we can schedule another Zoom, a Zoom call with you. We can share all the options, and obviously we will ask what are you looking for to find the best options for you.
And by the way, the options that we're showing in Greece, yes, you can choose to use a management company, which will pay you guaranteed yield. But if you would love to use it yourself and to live on your own, it is absolutely possible, because sometimes it's not possible and you need to only give it to the management company.
Yeah, exactly. I think we can move forward to another program.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's now talk about Malta, and Malta is something different from what we previously discussed, because this is permanent residency. Remember our slide from the beginning of our meeting today when we were talking of naturalization process, which is normally looks like temporary residency, permanent residency, and citizenship. And Malta suggests you an investment route to get to the second step from the beginning for permanent residency. And so, Alisa, please tell us a little bit about Malta.
Yeah, so you are completely right saying that Malta is the only program actually that offers an opportunity to get permanent residency from the very beginning. Although, also important fact is that this permanent residency can't be converted into citizenship in any way. It's permanent from the very beginning, and it can't be questioned. Yeah, some facts about country advantages regarding Malta. It's also a super safe country with first-class healthcare and educational systems, and it's super stable in terms of political climate. Yeah, what are the benefits of this country is that actually the ones that I mentioned in the beginning, that it's permanent residency. It's also possible to add several family members, like your spouse, dependent children, and dependent parents, and get European permanent residency for a full family. And as for the investment requirements, the main thing is that you need to prove that you have a capital of 500,000 euros, of which 150,000 euros are in financial assets. And we have two options here. Actually, I see that the name of is slightly incorrect, but I will explain it. That we have renting option and renting real estate option and buying real estate option. If we talk about renting real estate option, the total amount for 5 years period of time will be 150,000 euros in total. So you can rent something for 10,000 euros a year, and you need to make a government contribution of 100 300,000 euros. So it's like both real estate option and donation. So here in Malta, you need to do both. Or you can buy a property for a minimum amount of 300,000 euros, and the contribution will be slightly cheaper. It will be only 70,000 euros. And yeah, in total for 5 years, it will be 370,000 euros in total. Important fact here is that during this 5 years period of time that I mentioned, you can't rent the property out, so you can't generate income out of it. So that's the fact that it's necessary to keep in your mind while choosing Malta, for example. But another thing is that if you purchase the property after 5 years, you can rent it out. Or if you rent property for 5 years and you already proved that you are completed all the requirements of this program, you can just stop renting a property or rent something for a lower price, let's say. So
for those who are not planning to relocate, it's something similar to the Caribbean. You can either, let's say, donate, just paying for your rented property and not using that, or you can invest, and then after the holding period expired, you can resell. But Malta is, of course, not Caribbean, and it is a permanent residency in EU versus citizenship in the Caribbean. But still, you see something similar trends could be noticed. By the way, I wanted to say that we are more than 1 hour broadcasting. Thank you very much for those who are still with us. How are you? Are you tired or not? Should we go faster or slower? Because we still have some things to discuss. And let's move forward. So next program is Hungary. And this is something new on the market right now. Those who were studying residency and citizenship programs are aware that there used to be a Golden Visa program in Hungary, which was closed. And now this is not even a program of Golden Visa. It's something like a combination of law provisions which allow lawyers to apply for residency in Hungary and to receive these approvals for 5 years. So as this period of the residency is much longer than normal financial independence residency, like in Italy or in France or somewhere else, it could really be more comparable to Greece than to some others. So let's talk how Hungary programs looks like, what are the benefits and what are the important details there.
Yeah, let me go directly to program advantages. And I would like to mention that Hungary Residency is the fastest European residency by investment program. So you can get approval in less than 50 days. So I would say like 40 or 50 days. And yeah, it's like super fast, especially if you compare to Portugal, like when you need to wait for a long amount of time. Hungary, another advantage is that the real estate investment is done after you are officially approved for this Hungarian residency. So you first get your card issued, and only after that you have 3 months to make a real estate investment. So you can also add all your dependents, like your spouse, financially dependent children, and financially dependent parents. And Hungary has no restrictions on nationalities, so all nationalities are welcome to apply. And the last but not the least, that physical residency is not required in Hungary, so you can just invest and have your visa reviewed. Yes, so as for the investment requirements, as Senia already mentioned, it's like a combination of requirements. First thing is that you need to prove that you have sufficient funds, which means that you have 27,000 euros for a main applicant and 16,000 euros for each dependent in your application. So you don't need to pay this money, you just need to show that you have them on your bank account. And you need to make a minimum investment of 155,000 euros in real estate in Budapest in ready residential properties. So yeah, like it must be in Budapest and it must be ready one. After getting your residency card issued, you will have 90 days, as I already mentioned, to make this investment. Also, good point is that your residency card will be given straight away for like 5 years, and for each dependent for 3 years. So it's like pretty long period of time. And if we consider like just real estate in Hungary, Budapest is really attractive in terms of real estate investment. Even though, as in Malta, you can't officially rent this property out, so you can't generate income, as it's stated here that it must be a residential property for yourself, still the minimum price per square meter in Budapest is something like 2,500, 3,000 euros. So it's super attractive investment-wise comparing to other European capitals.
Yes, and as the residential property should not be under construction, it should be already delivered and suitable for your personal living. By the way, there is also a requirement for the size of the property. It should not be less than 6 square meters per each family member, which is not quite a lot, but still. So normally you should be ready that we are going to work there with secondary market. And every apartment, every property which is residential in Budapest would be suitable here. And of course, secondary market is something that is changing daily. So we just showed here a couple of examples for you to understand what type of real estate you can purchase for this amount. Let's say here in the slide is 170,000 apartment in the district number 5, which is the super central of Budapest, the most historical one, where all the those bridges are located and etc. Of course, this is very, very small studio, but for those who want kind of a basement in Budapest in order to keep their ski equipment there for further ski travelings in Austria or Switzerland, this is quite suitable option. Or we can consider a larger apartment. I can see here 2 bedrooms apartment in the district number 7, 61 square meters, not big, not small, almost same price. So depending on your goals, of your requirements, how many bedrooms, like outskirts area or super central, of course we can work on a secondary market with our Budapest agents. And we have an office in Budapest, our lawyers, full our support. If you need a translator, we will arrange it. So quite comfortable, very fast program. And as Alisa mentioned, you are only purchasing when you have your cars in your hands. This is a unique, actually, on the market.
Yeah, so I think to sum it all up, we already mentioned the main advantages of all European countries, that you have a year-round access to EU, you can travel visa-free around all Schengen areas, you can work with financial institutions and have a residential address over there. But in terms of the particular advantages, these countries differ, and so yeah, we will be happy to advise you in the best way, if you consider one of these options for you, because it really must take into account certain specifics of each one of them.
Yes, amazing. So we are done with European residency programs. Now we are going to talk about 2 programs which are not like any others. We're going to talk about United Arab Emirates, how to get residence visa here, and we are going to talk after it about green card in the US. So if you have, by the way, any questions about programs that we already discussed, or maybe about which we are not mentioned yet, please welcome to write a comment here. We will be appreciating your support, and let's move forward. UAE. So I believe everyone knows that this country is extremely attractive recently, and many companies are opening their branches here. And the real estate market was booming past years. And it's like a country which connects West and East. And it's super neutral on a political sphere, and it's investing so much to attract foreign assets to the country, to develop their economic. And also it's a popular resort area. So many people are really relocating to the United Arab Emirates, or maybe partly relocating, living winter in Dubai or Abu Dhabi, and during summers they keep on living in, I don't know, Montenegro, Turkey, and other countries. And many people are interested how to get a resident visa in United Arab Emirates, and they might need it. For example, to open a bank account, they would need a resident visa. To register an address, they would need a resident visa. To enroll children to school, and the amount of school is huge here, British, American, any type of curriculum. So Resident visa could be obtained by the following routes. First of all, one of the most maybe discussed option is a real estate purchase. You can get a 2 years resident visa for real estate purchase, and you can get a 10-year resident visa, like it's so-called golden visa, for real estate costing more than 2 million of dirhams, which is approximately $500,000. Also, very probably most popular and most usable option to obtain resident visa is a business setup. It's so-called investor's visa. When you can open up a company and use it further, or in mainland or in some of the free zones of United Arab Emirates, and you can be granted a 2 years resident visa, and then after the main investor is getting his investor's resident visa, he can sponsor his family, like his spouse, his kids, or his parents. By the way, if you getting golden visa in UAE, you can also sponsor your staff, like your nanny, your driver, chef, and whatever. Also, as everywhere else, other routes to have a resident visa is like a student visa, an employment visa, freelance visa, and also Emirates announced recently talent visa. So they try to attract best brains, best scientists, best creators, and etc. That helps their economy a lot. But what we are working about on mostly, these are real estate visa and business setup. You might know that the amount of real estate market, the capacity of real estate market in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, in other Emirates is really huge. And the price range is very different, same as I described in Turkey. We can really implement a lot of investment strategy here. It can be a purchase of real estate for personal use, for family, relocation for your children, maybe while they're studying here in one of the universities. And by the way, did you know that Emirates are now attracting world-known university? It's already, they opened Sorbonne in Abu Dhabi, and I know that they are trying to negotiate Yale and other best universities of the world to open their branches here in Emirates. So this could be, you can buy something for your children, for them a studio or one-bedroom apartment in downtown or in Blue Waters. Also, of course, Dubai and Abu Dhabi are well known for capital appreciation, and many developers are suggesting very comfortable installment plans, payment plans to obtaining purchasing property here. And some people are using some strategy of early resale, like even before the construction is finished. So if you have any interest in obtaining property in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, Ras Al Khaimah, or other cities, please contact us. We will discuss with you individually what type of strategy you want to implement, and we will recommend you the best option to do this. And of course, after this, we will help you to apply for your visa. Second story is business setup. It is something much more cheaper than investments. Actually, you can open a company, and depending on your purposes, we can recommend you what type of company it should be. Of course, there are businessmen who are planning to expand their business in Middle East, and they want their company to be real operator. So it's one story, because definitely we would need a corporate bank account and all other things. But sometimes people would like to open a company in Emirates just to get their visa. It is also possible, and for this we can use some cheaper options, some cheaper free zones or something like that. So be open with us when we are talking about your goals, and we will recommend you the best solutions. And the types of companies which you can choose for working in Emirates, normally 3 types. It could be a mainland company, so we are using a normal mainland, and this opens you all ranges of businesses that you can use, and this allows you to work with B2C and B2B, handling B2B and B2C services in Emirates. Of course, this could be more expensive. it can be a little bit more complicated. Licenses could be a little bit higher, but this is something that could be suitable for all, I don't know, real estate companies, consulting services, and etc. Free zones is 50 different economical zones in Emirates. Special tax conditions are offered for that type of companies, and depending on your type of business, depending on amount and size of your company, you would need to choose one and another free zone. You would need to choose one and another license, and we will recommend you. This type of companies are normally used when you have some trade activities with non-Emirates countries and companies. For example, we had a client who was doing trading business in between European countries and China, and they were using in the middle of the holding a Dubai Free Zone company. So this is also very popular and much more easier than mainland company. Offshore actually is not very popular right now because Emirates are doing everything to go from some gray zone. So as many of you might heard that from this year, they implemented corporate tax of 9%, which is only related to mainland companies, but still free zones are still tax-free. Only VAT tax is applicable, which is 5%. I think people from Europe who are listening this are quite shocked that this is possible, but yes, this is possible. So actually offshore is not so much popular right now, but for you to know that it also exists. As I already mentioned, there are different free zones, and you need to choose them depending on what type of activity you are planning to implement further. And we work like this. We send our clients an easy questionnaire. We ask you to answer the following questions, and after this, we will recommend you the free zone or a mainland which will suit you best, and we will instruct you on your further steps. So we are also doing additional services here, like we can help you with opening bank accounts, so access to online banking, checkbooks, and etc. So like anything you might want in UAE, let's discuss. We are here. I'm in Dubai, in our Dubai office. So we would be happy to help you in Emirates. And the last program which we are going to discuss right now is the USA, EB5 Immigration Investor Program. So actually, this is a permanent residency program, something like which can bring you to obtain green card. And in the beginning, remember we were discussing classical naturalization immigration rules. And I want to tell that those classical naturalization only can be relevant to European programs, because in the United States of America, immigration law is completely different. And you can live 20 years in the USA using, I don't know, E2 visa, which is non-immigrant. And this will never bring you to green card or citizenship. So in the United States of America, there are two types of visas, immigrant and non-immigrant. And for you, if your goal is to obtain a green card and to obtain citizenship passport of the USA, you need to choose an immigration route. And for example, immigration route could be also like marriage, talent visa, or I don't know, DV lottery is very popular. Like if someone ever played DV lottery trying to win green card, please comment. It will be interesting for us to know. But this is like DV lottery is a good example, because this is a cheap and easy route. If you win it, you may have a good chances to receive your green card. But this is very, very unpredictable. But for those people who have money, who are investors, and who really want to influence on their future, and they want to choose some very predictable route to obtain their green card, EB5 is the best option of all possible. So what is this? This program actually exists from 1990. So this has a really great history, and it requires an investor to invest at least $800,000 in the project and create 10 employments for the US citizens. And then he will obtain his green card. I'm just trying to make the story shorter. He is investing, he's obtaining green card for himself and his family. After 5 years of first green card is issued, you can apply for a citizenship. And this is really quite an easy route, because this investment of 800 are returning back approximately after 5-6 years. And there are different ways how to implement the conditions that are required for the EB5 program. Around 95% of all the attenders of this program actually use regional centers for their investment. These regional centers are special organizations that are working with type of businesses which help you to fulfill the requirement of creating of 10 employment places. So to make a long story short, I would tell you that what you need to know. If your goal is green card is the only route for American passport. Green card is the only route for like being able to legally live in the United States of America. Green card gives you special tariffs for education and etc. You can get your green card approximately in 2 years, and after this, in 5 years, you can apply for your passport. The amount of investment required is $800,000. This amount is revocable. You need to invest in regional centers, which guarantee you like not officially. It's also important thing, and we are talking about this with our investors, but which makes this requirement to fulfill. And your money are protected by the financial structure of your investments, which we are discussing individually. And that's about this. This is really quite easy and quite transparent. So let's talk a little bit about trends. Our meeting is moving to its end. I hope really, guys, that you enjoyed it. I still see that we have attenders there. We appreciate you here spending this 1.5 hours with us.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much, Ksenia, for such a detailed coverage of United Arab Emirates program and US. So it was very, very clear. Yeah, let's actually summarize the ideas that we were discussing here all the time, and we would like to pay your attention to the investment immigration trends that are already happening and that are about to happen in the nearest future. So yeah, we can't but mention the fact that programs are closing. So for example, last year, like this year, actually at the beginning of it, the Montenegro Citizenship by Investment program was closed. So also the countries are increasing the entry threshold amount. So it already happened with Greece when they raised it like twice. Also this started happening in Caribbean when St. Kitts and Nevis also raised its minimum threshold amount twice. So it's like,
yeah, this year was just a year of changes in the Caribbean programs. Like, we understand that many programs are actually, especially those that are given visa-free access to Schengen area, they've been under pressure. You know, this refugees crisis and everything, this is very connected. And we understand that European Committee, they are trying to avoid some speculation on these programs, and they try to add up some additional rules to make the due diligence process more complicated. Now, you know, many countries in the Caribbean, they are adding up some interviews, like they used to be in Canada recently. And so the trend is to make life more complicated, life of immigrants, investment immigrants, more complicated, and to make them pay more. This is something. So if you really think about participating in one or another program, don't wait until you will have lack of choice or something happens and you would have no time to wait. And there is something that you might need yesterday. Like we all know these examples. So, and for our clients that were really today with us, who spend this time with us, we prepared some special offer. And we want you to receive some like kind of gift from us, and this is a discount for our advisory services on the amount of 10% for any program that you're gonna choose if you sign a contract with us this month. We really appreciate in this format. I hope that was useful, and we will be happy to continue this conversation with you individually and discuss and compare and prepare personal calculation and help you to make this decision, to discuss all pros and cons. Like you see, we are very transparent. If something is not amazing in one or another program, we are telling you, yes, but don't forget this. Here is taxes. Here is relocation. So we want you not to regret further. We want you to be happy and to overcome the borders you might have, to protect yourself. And again, like every person is taking responsibility about his own life, his own future, his family, his roots. And we are here to guide you in this world of immigration programs. So thank you so much. Thank you, Alisa. Thank you, our guests. See you.
Yeah, thank you, Ksenia. It was really amazing, and I do hope that insightful. Thank you, everyone who listened to us. And yeah, do not hesitate to contact us further. And we are available for any questions of yours.
Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you so much. Goodbye.